Hey, I got something to show you guys. Take a look. It is spring. Happy spring to all of you. Take a look at what we have here for you from AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Beautiful spring scent candles here for you. Hand poured with premium fragrance and essential oils. How about this? Our coconut soy wax candles bring fresh, uplifting spring scents to your home. Made with clean, natural ingredients, they're a mindful choice for sensitive spaces and those who love effortless seasonal fragrances. You got to check it out right now. There's the soft bloom and the lemon bar candles, all healthy ingredients, all from AlleyRoseFragrances.com. And if you're a first-time customer, use the promo code InsideEdge20. That's InsideEdge20. Get this for yourself, for your friends, family, everyone. You want a good smelling home, AlleyRoseFragrances.com will make it happen. Again, AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Get the new spring candles. And when you order, if you're a first-time customer, InsideEdge20 is the promo code.
All right, welcome in. It is a Sunday morning. That means it's time for the Sunday morning sports show right here on the Inside Edge Network. I'm your host. I'm Chad Bryan. I've got my guys with me, as always. Ryan Mossor, TK Dandridge. I'm trying to point, but you can't even see my hands, so it doesn't matter. What's going on, guys? How's your Sunday going, man? How you guys feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm ready to talk about this Browns draft, man. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Is it a coincidence? In over a decade without Paul DePodesta was a pretty good one.
I can talk about that if you want.
I mean, we can get into that. I don't mind.
I can. I have a little argument against it. So
it's well, okay, all right, okay, all right. That sounds interesting. Let's talk about that then. So first of all, I don't even know if Paul DePodesta actually really exists. Has he ever been to Berea? I don't know if he's ever been to Berea. Does he even know what the facility looks like in Berea? But he was supposedly making some decisions, and it could have been financial decisions. But Ryan, let's switch gears. We're going to talk about the draft. We'll still do that. Yeah. But now I want to hear your argument against. You're saying against me or against Paul DePodesta?
Against the narrative. I mean, all right. So there's a growing narrative floating around in Cleveland right now that Paul DePodesta was the anchor holding this franchise underwater. Okay, and you know the evidence, at least for the people pushing that argument, is pretty straightforward. I'll give him that. You know, Andrew Berry's first 5 drafts with Depot, you know, in the building were, let's call them uneven, to say the least. You know, Depot left, you know, before the 2025 draft, and Barry suddenly had, you know, the best draft ever in 2025. Then it follows it up with an even better draft in 2026, in my opinion. So the conclusion from some fans, you know, are jumping to, you know, see DePodesta was the problem. Andrew Berry was fine. And, you know, he just needed to, you know, be freed. And I get that, you know, I see that. You know, there's a pattern that you can point to. There's a timeline that you can point to. There's a shift in results that you can point to. But, I mean, the part that people don't want to admit is that Andrew Berry is definitely not blameless, not even close. And I feel like a lot of people are going opposite direction. Hey, it was all DePodesta. Andrew Berry is actually very, very good. We still had 5 seasons of Andrew Berry with incompetence. I mean, yes, DePodesta obviously influenced his early drafts. You know, he was a major voice. He was in Jimmy Haslam's ear, which is maybe the most important thing there. He had Barry's ear, and he had a seat at the table for every major decision. You know, he wasn't some quiet analytic intern in the corner. He was a power player. So yeah, you know, I see it's fair to see, you know, the way his philosophy, you know, shaped this roster. And I think it's fair that some of those philosophies, you know, didn't translate to winning football. That's fair to say. You know, Andrew Berry still made the final call. You know, this is the part that fans are conveniently, you know, ignoring. I mean, Berry was the GM. Berry signed the contract. Berry submitted the draft cards. He executed the trades. He built the roster. If the draft, you know, were that bad, and many of them were, that's on him. He doesn't get to hide behind DePodesta, you know, like a human shield. Berry drafted Anthony Schwartz. He drafted Jordan Elliott, Tommy Togiai, David Bell, Perrion Winfrey, Cade York. The list goes on. And not to mention, he was the sole benefactor. He had the idea for the Deshaun Watson trade, which is one of the worst trades in sports history, not just franchise history, sports history. Those were not DePodesta only decisions. Those were Andrew Berry decisions. And if we're being brutally honest, Berry should have been fired after the 2024 season. The roster was a mess. The offensive line was a disaster. The Watson contract, was suffocating the franchise. The drafts weren't producing enough high-end talent because we didn't have the picks. And, he was out of excuses. Obviously, the turning point was that the 2025 draft saved Andrew Berry's job. He walked in the 2025 draft with, his back against the wall. He needed a home run. He needed a class that changed the direction of the franchise, and he delivered. Mason Graham, Quinshawn Judkins, Carson Swessinger, Harold Fannin Jr., another future first from Jacksonville, multiple role players who actually fit the scheme. That draft saved him. So, I mean, it also exposed something important. Berry, without DePodesta, looked like a different GM to me. He was more aggressive, more decisive, more willing to draft football players instead of just, spreadsheet players, more willing to trust his scouts, more willing to build a roster instead of chasing value pockets within the draft. And then 2026 happened, and he doubled down with, I can't wait to get down with this, but an even better draft class. So was DePodesta the problem? He wasn't the problem, but he was a problem. He was a part of the front office structure that overthought everything. They chased outlier profiles. They drafted traits without roles. They ignored positional value at the wrong times. They leaned heavily, on models and not enough football. And Berry was a huge part of that problem. He signed off on it. He executed. He defended it. He lived with that philosophy for 5 years. So it's a fair take to say that DePodesta was a problem, but to completely use as a scapegoat is lazy in my opinion. So.
Yeah, I think those are a lot of fair points. I think that and a lot of since DePodesta left, I think a lot has been said that kind of points to him possibly only being like a financial consultant to the Haslams, right? He directed them on how to spend their money. So yeah, sure. I mean, some bad decisions were made under him. But yeah, I mean, there's no proof out there ever that says that he spearheaded the draft or any picks or anything else, or like you said, the Deshaun Watson trade or anything else. I think those are a lot of fair points. I think it's hard to say because we don't really know what his role was. Right. And I think, like you said, it's easy because the timeline fits to say, well, obviously it was DePodesta. I mean, look, he left and it got better, right? And
I'm glad it did. I'm not arguing that at all. So.
No, yeah, that's great that it got better. It could have been a total coincidence, right? For all we know, Paul DePodesta was there giving the Haslams all the advice in the world, and they were going against it anyway and going, nah, that's okay. We'll just go ahead and do what we want. Who knows? I mean, Paul DePodesta may have said, hey, I would never, ever in 100,000 years trade for a guy like Deshaun Watson, not with this, and this happening. And Haslam said, but quarterback and Clemson, I'm
I mean, DePodesta did allegedly heavily influence the Stefanski hire as well, which take it for what it is. It could have been good, could have been bad. I thought he was pretty incompetent. We'll see what he has in the future with the Atlanta Falcons, but he did have a lot of influence. I'm not arguing that, but he was not the scapegoat. He was not the sole benefactor of all the decisions. At the end of the day, unless literally DePodesta is a puppet master and pulling strings, and Andrew Berry is just there as a gesture to not even talk to the media about it because he never did. It was all Stefanski. So, I mean, logic tells me that Berry had the final decision, and it's irresponsible to just say it's the DePodesta's fault. So,
and if that's all the case, despite the last two drafts, Andrew Berry shouldn't be the GM anymore. I mean, TK, how do you feel about any of this? Do you agree with Ryan? I think those are fair points.
Big credit to Ryan. Just now, he decided to wake up and preach this morning. We are definitely having church, and Mr. Mossor is our sermon for the day. That was a wonderful segment. Listen, I am very much in favor of the fact that we finally got rid of Mr. Damn Moneyball and all of his analytical bullshit. I am very happy that happened. But again, Andrew Berry's ass should have been gone shortly after the Deshaun Watson trade reared its ugly, freaky ass head and didn't yield us any success whatsoever. This 2025 draft class did indeed save him. This class turned out to be very beautiful. Very rarely do you see many fans more excited about what takes place on day two than what happens on day one. Day one was a little bit rough. I do understand that we got day three was good too. But at the same time, I do think day one was rough. Due to the strength of emotions that some of us had. I know a lot of us were excited to possibly get Carnell Tate when we got to our original pick. We were thinking, okay, possibly Caleb Downs, maybe, just maybe, you go with Sonny Styles. But, they decided to trade back down and they, traded with the Chiefs and what have you. So, I just think that Andrew is doing the best that he can to salvage himself. I definitely think this draft was another way of him showing that, I'm really trying to save myself here. Great attention to the offensive line. We actually ended up taking 3 offensive linemen this year. I know a lot of us kept saying, 3, 4, 5, just do it. You need to rebuild this entire offensive line. You need fresh bodies. You need more power. You need this. You need that. You need to hit it with a wiffle ball bat and never come back. And that's exactly what they did. We can talk all day about what they were able to do in the first round. The trading down to still be able to stay inside the top 10 to get Spencer Fano, getting Casey Concepcion at number 24, Denzel Boston at 39, whatever. Mm-hmm. Days 2 and 3 are so beyond geared towards the future. It's ridiculous. And it is enough to make you crack a smile. Because check it out. You get Boston Barber in the 3rd round. That's your project left tackle right there. You got some time to develop this young kid to see exactly if he could fit in that scheme. Now, with Spencer Fano being the top selection, that was their favorite offensive line prospect by far. And definitely in this year's draft, he was definitely a top 5 guy. Obviously, I felt a little bit different, but I do think he is a very good player. So you think, what happens with Titus Howard? What if that doesn't work? Well, Spence can go ahead and slide over to that right side. You can plug Austin Barber right there at that left tackle position. And another offensive lineman that we got, and this is probably low-key my favorite because I love these value picks, Parker Brailsford, dog. I was extremely happy to get that kid. Very versatile center, low to the ground, quick as hell, broad shoulders. I don't like them big centers. You give me a center over 6'5", I'm going to have a problem. A problem with you. Parker Brailsford, 6'2.5", 3 hundo. We good to go. He's going to be another big part of the future. Now, we still have Luke Weipler, who's on this roster. And I can't help but think about these young guys that we have that can possibly have a significant future here. This was a futuristic draft by Andrew Berry, and he definitely got his Parliament and Funkadelic on this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the names. I see a bunch of versatile guys, like you said, especially along the offensive line, and I think that's the key. You've got Fano who, okay, let's say Austin Barber hits, right? They develop into a left tackle. You've got Fano. Well, now you're not stuck with 2 left tackles. You've got a guy who can move to the right side. He can even move inside if he needs to. But most likely he would be your right tackle. Barber would be your left. And again, it's a developmental pick. It's a 3rd round pick. You expect him to be a decent player. At most, I think maybe he could be a starter. He could be a depth piece, whatever. But a lot of people have, I've seen, like, why would you take, Parker Brailsford, in the 5th round? Why you take a center? I don't know. I mean, you develop the guy. Again, it's a developmental pick.
Those people are dumb, Chad.
I know. I tried to be very nice about it, but listen, sometimes I think that's the case. I saw people, and there's a pick that we're going to get to in a minute. Well, you know what? I'm just going to bring it up now. Taylon Green, okay, in the 6th round.
I'm slobbering.
My goodness, man. I mean, the kid has so much raw athleticism, right? And I get it. Oh, he threw a bunch of interceptions at Arkansas. He's going to be a bust. Again, okay? I said it yesterday. You can't call Shedeur Sanders a bust after being drafted in the 5th round. Whatever happens with Shedeur Sanders. How can you call a 6th round draft pick a bust? How are you on day 1 of the pick calling a kid a bust when he's taken it? He's not even really expected to make the roster at that point. Okay. He's probably going to make the roster, at least the practice squad, because I don't think they're just going to let him go. Like 6'6", whatever, a 4.39 40, which if you can just work with him mechanically a little bit, right, and just refine a couple of things, some footwork, maybe a quick release, whatever it is, just whatever you identify as, being the problem with it, because he was inconsistent at Arkansas. Let's be honest, right? But he's got the raw athleticism that you love. I mean, my goodness, man, if they can harness all that and get it pointed in the right direction, he could be an absolute monster. I mean, think about an AFC North quarterback, 6'6", 200 plus pounds, that can run a 4.39 40. I mean, first of all, you can't take him down. Most people aren't going to be able to tackle him, right? Like, you bring a corner blitz, the corner's going to bounce off him. You can't bring a corner blitz at Taylor Green. He's going to bounce right off. And by the way, he can run away from defensive ends. So I don't know, man. I love the pick. Like I said, he may never see the field. It's possible. He may never see the football field. But they also may be able to work with whatever it is in his mechanics that was holding him back at Arkansas or in college or previously, whatever you want to say, and get him pointed in the right direction, and he could be an absolute weapon. I love the pick. I love days 2 and 3 from the Browns. I think, again, the focus was versatility, filling holes, a really, like, it was what do I want to say? It was not a generational draft, but I mean, it was just it's how you like layer layer for the future. Right? Yeah, and I think Barry did a great job. I don't necessarily think that the 5 drafts before these last 2 should be forgiven. I am probably in agreement with you, Ryan. In agreement with you, whatever the word is. I think he maybe should have been gone before these last 2 drafts. To be perfectly honest with you, I think Stefanski and Andrew Barry should have been gone, but he's still here. And the fact of the matter is he's doing a lot with a second chance. So now we have to be patient. I think we just have to watch. And I think it's funny, too, that we tend to overreact a little bit about the draft. We got to see these guys on the field first, right? If none of these guys develop into anything, we'll never remember this draft, right? We'll just say, oh, my gosh, what happened? But I think they did a nice job of doing the best they could to fill holes, to get a lot of versatile guys that can come in and just plug in right away and be not necessarily starters, but they can be depth pieces along the offensive line or, at the wide receiver position. And I know Concepcion felt like a little bit of a reach maybe at 24, but then you look at the next pick, which was Denzel Boston, and you go, okay, well, now it makes sense. I mean, now they've got their size on the outside, right, Ryan? That's that. And you can use Concepcion as possibly a kick and punt returner. You use him as a slot guy. He's another safety valve for whoever it is at quarterback. I want to say Shedeur Sanders because that's who I think, probably for the immediate future would be the guy. But there you go. But whoever is at quarterback, right? Whoever's there now has a safety valve other than just a tight end. Now you've got a wide receiver that can not only get open quickly underneath, but once he gets the ball in his hands, he's a problem. And I think that's huge. I think that's something this offense has been missing. Now, I know the drops were a concern a little bit in college, and that's fine. I think that, we're just going to have to wait and see. I mean, we all improve. We get better. We develop, right? We don't stay the same. So that's what you hope for Concepcion. But at the root of it, I mean, he's going to be I think, a very good returner. And, TK and I talked about it yesterday. We saw what Seattle did with a nice special teams. It's field position. It's explosive plays back there. I mean, you just never really know. I mean, the Browns haven't had a viable kick returner since Josh Cribbs, man. I mean, right? It's been a long time. It's been a really long time. And now we're starting to put these things together. It's like the Browns always had something, one or the other. They had a good wide receiver, nothing else. They had a good, left tackle, nothing else. A good kick returner, basically nothing else. Now we're starting to put these things together on the same team, on the same roster. And I think that's exciting. I don't know.
I looked up my shirt. I thought I was wearing my Shedeur shirt. It's just a Cleveland shirt, so I'm an idiot. So
that's okay. No, hey, at least it was a Cleveland shirt and not like Yeah. You accidentally put your Bengals shirt on this morning or something. Who knows? So Parker Brailsford, where do you want to start, Ryan? Where do you want to start with? I mean, we talked a little bit. TK and I did about Denzel Boston. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, I thought, was an excellent pick also in that second round.
I want to talk the whole draft, to be honest.
Let's do it. Tell me. Listen, you're the draft guy, man. Just tell me. Just talk.
This is the first time I've gotten to talk about pre or post draft, so I would like
let's
to.
do it, man. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. You want me to start because I won't stop. So
well, you got to stop at some point because we'll have to take a break soon. But yeah, tell me. First of all, tell me your favorite second or third day pick. We'll go one guy. We'll take a break and then we'll come back and we'll get more into it. How about that?
So you want me to go over that player as well?
I would love it.
All right, hold on. Let me scroll here because I have it in order of picks.
We are scrolling, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry. Yeah. All right. Well, my favorite pick of the draft is Taylor Green for the Browns. So I absolutely love that pick. And I'll get there in 20 seconds. I have 96,000 characters to go through just for this notes for today.
Read them all word for word. Just read everything.
No, I won't do that. That'd be embarrassing. So Taylor Green, we're almost there. All right, Taylor Green, I'm here. All right, I love him. Okay, I love Taylor Green. I've been talking about him since December. I love Taylor Green. I'm not even going to pretend to be neutral here. It was my absolute favorite pick of the draft for the Browns. Not because Taylor Green was my top quarterback, not because he was a first round grade, or not because he was a safe pick. This is my favorite pick because Chad talked about it a little bit. The Browns swung for the fences on a quarterback with legitimate franchise-altering physical tools, man. I mean, and they got him in the 6th round. This isn't Anthony Richardson 4th overall. This is Taylor Green in the 6th round. Browns fans need to chill the hell out. I've talked about Taylor Green on all my podcasts for months. I've broken down his tape. I've highlighted his upside. I've said over and over again that, if he lands in the right system, the right situation, the right coaching, he could shock people. And now he's in Cleveland, and he's in a quarterback room that I personally think is absolutely wide open. And he gets to compete with Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, and Dylan Gabriel. This is the exact type of quarterback swing that I've been begging for the Browns to take, and they got it in the 6th round. This is incredible value. I mean, I don't care what anyone says. This year is going to be a competition for quarterback. This is going to be a battle. This is a room where nothing is guaranteed. And Taylor Green, like you said, brings something that none of the quarterbacks have. He's 6'6", 227-pound frame. That 4.36 40 speed from the combine is absolutely insane. He broke records for vertical and broad jump as well for quarterbacks in the combine. He's got a cannon for an arm, explosive rushing ability. Just fun off-script creation that you see just with his improvisation and stuff. This is one of the most physically gifted quarterbacks I have ever scouted. He's not just athletic. He is a unicorn, okay, that needs coaching. And the Browns got him at pick 182. This is how you steal the quarterback, I think. I think he is a traits monster. He's the type of quarterback who brings defensive coordinators lack of sleep at the night before, man. He can beat you in both ways, with his arm and with his legs, in ways that most quarterbacks really can't do. He has super long strides with real long speed, and once he gets to open field, he is, he looks like a tight end running away from linebackers. You're not going to catch him. As a passer, I think the arm talent does jump off the screen. He can drive the ball outside the numbers. He can throw deep shots without needing to load up. He can generate velocity from awkward platforms. He'll be on awkward platforms because he does like to run a lot. He can attack vertical windows that most quarterbacks don't even attempt, but he is very raw. Like you said, his mechanics absolutely need work. His footwork can get sloppy. His base can widen. His release point can drift. His accuracy can be streaky, and his processing is still developing. So he has all those physical tools, but you need to just coach and mold this guy. And that's why he was available in the 6th round. Let's be honest. And I think that's the point that matters, because, everything, he struggles with, I think, is coachable. Everything that he excels at is unteachable. So that's why I think this pick is so perfect. 6'6", 4.36 speed, rocker arm. You cannot teach those. You can't teach his off-script creation. You can't teach his natural playmaking instincts. He is a developmental quarterback with a ceiling that is legitimately higher than most quarterbacks drafted ahead of him. I can go on for 20 minutes about him, but I'll stop there. I love him. I love this.
Fair enough. Listen, you can talk more about him when we come back if you want. Sure. We can take a break. The thing I like about Taylor Green, I think, and I have never coached football. Let's say that. I'll say that out loud because it's obvious. I've never coached football. But the thing I like about him, and I don't know, I feel like if I were a coach, if I were an offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, whatever it is, I would approach developing Taylor Green like, listen, in practice, you are a pocket quarterback. You stand in the pocket, process, right? See what's in front of you, whatever. In the game, man, do whatever you got to do. Go off script, but you're going to learn to be a pocket quarterback. In the game, I want you to do whatever. You listen, if you got to create. Do whatever you have to do. But all week in practice, I want you to stand in the pocket. I just want you to process. I want you to see wide receivers come open. I want you to see the windows open up. I want you to understand, like, how to throw into those windows, when to throw into those windows, right? So that when it goes off script in the game, you're ready. You can run. You've got the legs to do it. But when these things happen in the game, when guys come open, when the timing is right, you're also used to that. I think that's a hard thing. It's easier said than done. But yeah, I think in practice you sort of just make him, listen, man, you've got concrete blocks tied to your feet. You can't run in practice, right? You don't do that. We know that's a natural ability. He doesn't need to work on that. So just sit back here and process, right? And learn the offense. I'm excited about he's got
I'm excited for the preseason games. It's gonna be so fun. Oh.
I'm excited. I might buy Madden now just to have Taylor Green on that. It's gonna
just wait 3 months. It'll be free on Game Pass. So.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I should say I'm not gonna buy it. You're right. But no, I'm excited about his he's got okay, let's be honest. He's got a pretty low floor. But again, that's why you take him in the 6th round. That's okay. I mean, to get upset about a pick like this is very confusing to me. I don't understand it at all.
It's irrational and dumb. So
listen, if they had taken him with 20, if they had taken him with pick number 24, I think we all would have been like, well, what did you do? Like, you clearly could have gotten a guy who could have come in day one and been a starter, been a contributor, whatever. But yeah, you take him in the 6th round with the first pick in the 6th round. I don't see the problem at all. I
love it.
You take a flyer on a guy that late. I mean, this is a much better pick than the Steelers taking Drew Aller, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Or whoever took Cade Klubnik. I can't remember who took Klubnik yesterday early. It was
Saints
way. TK, you're muted. I'm sorry, buddy.
The New York Jets took him 110 overall.
Yeah, I thought that was way. And then Garrett Nussmeier was there until the 7th round, almost the end of the draft.
49. He went to Kansas City.
Yeah, the Chiefs.
Yeah. So I think Nussmeier was probably the better prospect than Klubnik. And I don't think that Nussmeier should have gone up in 108 or 109. That's not what I'm saying. I think Klubnik should have been in the draft, maybe undrafted free agent, but that's fine.
Ty Simpson at 13.
No, it's so confusing.
I'm telling you guys, they're going to work with that kid. They're going to have him all good. He might not see his first genuine snaps of football till about year 3, year 4 of his career. So they don't have a young man up to stuff.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Maybe he'll end up being a great quarterback. Who knows? But I know one thing for sure. We're going to take a break. We're going to be back in about 5 minutes. We'll get into the rest of why Ryan is so excited today. I'm glad I got you fired up. I said Paul DePodesta. It like perked you right up at the beginning, man. Now you're ready to go. That was fun. So now I know every time I'll just text you randomly and be like, Paul DePodesta. And then whatever you're doing, you'll be really like fired up.
Well, when I'm about to get on arguments on Twitter, instead of doing that, I just save it for my podcast now. So I instead of just tape it on my phone, I just wait and just blast at people on here. So we're good. So
fair enough. Text me about what you're going to argue. I will play devil's advocate. I'll get you going, man.
There you go.
All right, let's take a break. In 5 minutes, like I said, we'll come back. We'll talk about we'll talk more to Ryan Mossor about how he felt about the rest of the job. We got some other players to get into. I thought there were some good late round additions that who knows? Joe Royer, Justin Jefferson, a couple guys. We'll get into it when we come back. But give us about 5 minutes here on the Inside Edge Network. We'll be right back. Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. Hey, welcome back. Listen, I know what gets Ryan Mossor's heart pumping. Watch this. Paul DePodesta. Go.
You're stupid.
It's true. It's verified. You can look that up. It's actually on Google. Okay, so sad that it really is. Okay. No, let's get back into the draft. You had more to say about Taylor Green. I like to talk about Taylor Green. I love this. The whole prospect of this Browns draft is fun for me. And again, I know we get excited about the stuff off the field because, let's be honest, sometimes when you're a Browns fan, there's not a whole lot to be excited about on the field. And that happens. That's okay. We know that. But I feel like these past two drafts feel a little bit different. I feel like they're starting to lay this foundation that, for once, is not going to crumble out from under the house, right? It's like it's pretty strong. So, and I don't think Taylor Green is part of that foundation. I think he's part of the, he's like the really nice siding that you may get some hail damage with it, or it may hold up. We'll see. Okay, I'm stupid. No,
that was good. That was good.
Hey, thanks, man. Speaking of hail damage, no, I'm kidding. I'm not doing that. So let's just talk more about Taylor Green. Let's talk more a little bit. I know you have more to say about that. And I want to talk about other guys. I want to talk about Parker Brailsford. I want to talk about Justin Jefferson. I really want to talk about Emmanuel McNeil-Warren with you as well. So we don't have to get into 20, 30 minutes each guy or whatever. I know it's hard not to. But yeah, I know. Tell me whatever you got about Taylor Green, and then you can go right in order. Just start with, if you want to start with Denzel Boston, start with Denzel Boston, right? It's up to you. Just try to give me 2 or 3 minutes on each guy, why they excite you, and how they fit into whatever this Browns scheme is going to be under Todd Monken, I guess.
2 and 3 minutes. You're asking for a lot. All right. Finishing on Taylor Green real quick. Like I said, he's got a rare physical profile, that elite speed and length, cannon arm, great playmaking off script, vertical passing ability. His weaknesses, inconsistent mechanics. He needs to process better. It definitely needs development. His accuracy has variance, pocket discipline, things like that. I think that why he fits the Browns right away, he gives them a developmental quarterback with a massive ceiling, a player who can compete immediately, a player who has unique skills, I would say, that most at the position don't have, and we don't have that in that locker room. He's not going to be handed anything, obviously, but he's absolutely in the mix. And if he gets the right coaching, like I said, watch out. Long term, I think if he develops, he becomes a legitimate NFL starter. He gives the Browns a dual threat weapon, probably one of the best in the NFL if he develops. Becomes a vertical passing machine, becomes a nightmare for defenses, and I think this is a long-term investment with massive upside for not much to give up, a 6th-round pick. He fits Todd Monken schemes, RPOs, QB run game, play action, vertical shots, movement concepts, off-script creation, things like that. And, like I said, there's nothing handed in this locker room for the quarterback. We have Shadur Sanders, who was promising but didn't earn anything. Deshaun Watson, who has been a bust, but is trying to clear his name. And then Dylan Gabriel, who probably will be off this team here pretty soon, and Taylor Green. The room's not locked in. It's the competition. So I really can't see a clear path for him starting as well if he can develop those mechanics and, grasp onto coaching early. So. Okay.
TK, real quick, let me ask you. Ryan talked about, he mentioned Anthony Richardson with the 4th overall pick, right? That happened. That was the thing. Do we think Taylor Green will ever take a playoff because he's tired?
Hell, I hope not. But being that athletic, you would hope not. But yeah, I mean, about that kid, I just wanted to say this real quick. We're gonna get Terrell Pryor Sr. reincarnated. It's gonna happen. He too big. He too fast. He too damn strong. He too athletic. He too this. He too that. He gonna have to get on the field at some point. Let something happen to that boy Denzel Boston. Let something happen to that boy KC Concepcion. The boy gonna be outside catching passes, roasting cats. It's gonna happen. It may take a little while. It may not be fucking play like automatically. It wasn't like that with Terrell Pryor. First year that he was a wide receiver, boy had one catch, but year 2 he had 77 of them things. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. You almost had a 1,000-yard season at the receiver position too. I mean, for a guy that was basically learning it for the first time. Hey, let's get creative. Let's put him in there let's run an end around to Taylor Green and let him just stop and pop a pass 40 yards down the field. Like let's get wild. Like this offense stinks, man. I'm so tired of seeing the vanilla crap. Like I'm so excited. I hope Todd Monken and his raspy voice. I hope that raspy voice means he's just like yelling things at his home, like making up plays. Like what is that doing? I'm so tired of, well, you know, that's on me, Mary Kay. And that's an excellent question. And I'm not going to answer it. It's an excellent question. There's no answer. It's on me, Mary Kay. We'll do better. I'm so tired of hearing that. I'm tired. There was almost a decade of that crap. I'm so tired. Todd Monken, like, he'll tell you, man. You'll be like, hey, how's the offense? It stinks. It stinks right now. It stinks. We're going to get better. It stinks. We suck. You know, he'll just tell you honestly, I think. And I love that. I love that about Todd Monken. Okay, that's enough of me. Ryan, tell me about somebody else. I don't know, anybody else. Pick a guy.
I'll go Denzel Boston since you guys talked about the first round, even though I would love to talk about the first round. All right, let me be completely honest where I was during the draft. We were sitting there at pick 24, and both KC Concepcion and Denzel Boston were sitting there on the board, and they were both my next available receivers. I personally lean Boston at 24. Okay. Not because KC isn't a great player. He absolutely is. But Denzel Boston, you know, was still on the board, and I think he, you know, brings a body type in a perimeter skill set that I thought matched our roster needs a little more cleanly, you know. Yeah. So when the Browns passed up on Boston at 24, I had that moment of, man, you know, I hope we don't overthink this. And I love the KC pick. You know, I was excited to see. I don't think KC necessarily will be our number one receiver, but he is a great second receiver, I think. Yeah. So we needed somebody, and I was worried about who that was going to be. And I was praying that Denzel Boston would fall, and he was falling, and he was falling, and I was praying, and then it happened. You know. So when the Browns passed him at 24. Please God, finally it happened. And I think he stole him at 39. Absolutely. That's what I realized. I think this front office just pulled off one of the best wide receiver hauls I've ever seen in Cleveland. He walked away with his top offensive lineman in the draft. He had his choice of the litter he picked, a dynamic, you know, slot Z weapon in KC Concepcion, and an absolutely, you know, great true outside receiver with, you know, size, ball skills, and vertical ability in Denzel Boston, all in the top 40 picks. I mean, a lot of people who questioned, you know, the first round had a major sense of relief after that Denzel Boston pick, including myself. Now I see the full picture, you know, and I think that's how you rebuild a position group in one night, in 2 nights, you know. I give that pick an A++, and honestly, I might be underselling it. I love it. You know, Boston is the type of receiver who makes the game look easy, I think. He's long, he's smooth, he glides through routes in a way that never looks rushed. He's not a jitterbug type of player. He's based off of rhythm and wins with pacing, stride control, and the ability to, you know, manipulate defenders without wasting much movement. What really stands out, I think, is how natural he is at tracking the football. Some guys have to fight their bodies to adjust on deep throws. You know, he turns, he glides, and he plucks the ball out of the air like it's nothing. I really love it. I think it's a rare trait, and one of the reasons I had him as my wide receiver 6 in a top 40 player. Concepcion actually was my wide receiver 7 on my big board, so pretty good there. You know, his combine, he's got great size, great weight. Across 43 games, he totaled 132 receptions, 1,781 yards, averaged 13.5 yards per catch with, you know, 20 receiving touchdowns, and, you know, 41.4 receiving yards per game. And I think that's really, really awesome. You know, his strengths, he's a natural vertical slider. He's got elite ball tracking, like you said he's got a strong catch point poise as well. I don't think he's necessarily like a jump ball merchant, but he's, you know, incredibly controlled in the air. You know, he's got smooth route transitions, boundary awareness, which is always great for an outside receiver, and just physical competitiveness. I can't talk today, guys. He's ready to fight always. He's not really loud about it, but he's tough, and I like that. And he's got 3-level upside. Weaknesses, he's definitely not a sudden mover. He can be delayed on like strong press corners a bit. He's going to need a little bit more functional strength, I think. He's not a yards after catch specialist, and he's definitely still developing his release package. That's why I think him and KC complement each other so much, because everything that Boston is not, KC is and more. I think this is a home run for both of them. I think going forward, he's going to be maybe the wide receiver 1 right away. And we'll see what happens with Judy. Obviously, Judy now has got a little fire in his butt, but I have no faith in that guy whatsoever. Boston is going to stretch the field. He's going to win intermediate routes, especially on deep ones. Give the starting quarterback a boundary reliable target. Force defenses to respect the perimeter. And like I said, he's a perfect complement to Casey Concepcion's short area quickness and Jerry Judy's alleged route precisionness, I would say. Long term, he's going to be our wide receiver 1, and I love the scheme fit as well. He fixed Tom Muckin's scheme perfectly, but I'll stop there. So,
well, and I love some of the things that you said. And TK, I want to ask you, so the body control from Boston, right? So we saw quite a few, and from both quarterbacks, from Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. I'm not going to just pick one guy, whatever. Both quarterbacks threw a lot of like back shoulder passes, right, that didn't get caught. The ball went through someone's hands, and even Flacco when he was here. I almost forgot that Flacco was here. But yeah, we saw some like back shoulder ball that didn't get caught, right, and they ended up being interceptions. I think Boston brings you probably a little bit better ability to catch the ball there. The body control is not necessarily a burner, but like Ryan said, you've got Casey Concepcion for that, right? You've got another guy on the field that can get loose.
Yeah, Boston's vertical, Casey Concepcion is horizontal. So
yeah.
I mean, it's the best of both there. So
you create a route tree now. Like now you have like wide receivers that can go get open on different levels instead of just a bunch of the same guy out there. A bunch of guys that are 5'10", 170 that run okay. They're not really going to take the top off of defense, but they can get loose in a short. You just didn't have anybody that could get open. And now I think you have guys that can get open in different ways, right? You got Boston, TK, that can use his body to get open. His big frame, good route running ability. He's got good release for a guy that runs a 4.5. He does a good job of creating space and getting open. Concepcion can just burn and just get by you. Now you've got some. No, don't forget Harold Fans there. You've got some weapons now, TK, right?
Don't forget about Joe Royer, baby.
Hey, Joe Royer too.
Man, it is absolutely beautiful to see that we finally got some size on the outside in Denzel Boston. He's going to be our Drake London, our Tedderoa McMillan, our Michael Pittman Jr., our DeKalen Metcalf. He is going to be that guy for us, and it's wonderful to be able to get a guy like that in the second round to be able to pair up with a quarterback. Whoever it's going to be, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the seed of prime, Mr. Sanders himself. However, my favorite pick in this draft for sure is going to have to be EMW. And I'm going to need that nickname to circulate like wildfire, bro, because that's fire. That's fire right there. Anyway, with EMW coming to the team, you have put in the philosophy that even though our offense was absolute dog water last year and no one wants to watch it, blind people will remain blind if it had to mean watching the Cleveland Browns offense last year willingly. But you put the affirmation that this defense is going to be as OP as humanly possible if I can help it. Now, with Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, I think the best way to start him off, I know I'm not a coach, I'm not a GM, not that, but I think the best way to start him off is to have him challenge Miles Harden for the nickel position. We do not have 3 starting linebackers as of right now. I understand there's a lot of speculation with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I do not believe he is coming back at all. I'm not even going to wait for it. You gave us your best shot, brother. It is what it is. Best luck to you and your future endeavors. I do not think Justin Jefferson is up to stuff to be an every down starting linebacker either. Granted, I do like Alabama linebackers quite a bit. I do not think he is up to the standard of which Quincy Williams and damn show Carson Schlesinger are at right now. He ain't there yet. However, if we get Emmanuel McNeil-Warren in those 4-2-5 sets, you get the big hitter, you get the turnover machine guy, and you get to excel on all those traits that he did well at the University of Toledo and see exactly how well they can transfer at the NFL level. I do think having a guy like EMW as the slot corner could help us and could signal a future permanent move. Maybe not permanent, but I think for the base of our defense, we could be running a 4-2-5 for a majority of the year instead of the basic 4-3 that we have been running. My apologies, excuse me. But that's definitely my favorite pick in the draft.
Okay.
Did not expect him to last till pick 58 at all. I thought he was gone in the top 20 because I saw numerous teams that
I think a lot of people thought he was a first rounder. Yeah.
Yeah, numerous teams needed safety help in that first round. Minnesota, Carolina, and the New York Giants, to be specific.
Yeah.
So I definitely thought he was going to look at him.
Yeah.
So that was my favorite pick of the draft.
Okay, Ryan, tell me about EMW because first of all, the nickname's great. But yeah, I thought the Chiefs may take him with that second pick they had in the first round, that late pick. I thought they may go with him. I'm glad they didn't. Glad he fell. I'm glad. I mean, it's like I've heard some people say that in some ways he's a poor man's Caleb Downs a little bit. And I think with the I think the safety, I don't know. I'm not really sure what's going on with the safeties. Ronnie Hickman and Grant Delpit. I don't know if they're going to be here after this next year. So I think it's better than, we left the offensive line alone when we knew we had contract problems. So now we're addressing those issues in the back end of the defense. I think that's good, right?
Stealing my thunder.
Oops. Sorry about that.
It's fine. How dare you have a thought that's like mine?
I'm just going to leave.
No, I agree. I EMW, I like the nickname too. I'm going to keep it. I love this guy. I love the move too. When the Browns traded up to 58, I knew they were going to go a defender. I didn't know if it was going to be safety or corner, but there were a lot of top corners on my draft board still there, including Jamal McCoy, some guys like that who obviously fell, but were incredibly talented and had questions. Avian Terrell as well was there. Really, I mean, great players. But I knew that they were going to probably go find someone who believed that they could anchor in, the back end of this defense for years. And I'm glad they settled on EMW. I couldn't have been happier when his name went across the screen. I think, this is a kid from Toledo, just a couple hours from Cleveland, man, who plays with the kind of poise, discipline, and spatial awareness that you simply don't see often, with college safeties. He's long, he's controlled, he's smart, and he plays, like a guy who understands the geometry of the field, And like I said, the best part is, we addressed the offensive line. We got 2 starting wide receivers, and then we walked away with a pick that wasn't a necessity this year, but we got ahead of something that was going to be a necessity, So now we don't have to look towards this position next year. We can look towards something else, which is it's fun, especially in a great draft in 2027. So we got a great draft or a great player at a not a position of need, but it's great. I don't know. I really like him a lot. I think you can call him probably like a field organizer. He's not the guy who's going to fly downhill and blow someone up necessarily, although he does like to hate. He's a really good hitter. He's not the guy who's going to run the 4-3 and erase every mistake with raw speed, but that's not his game. He's going to win with positioning, anticipation, depth discipline, efficient movement, eliminating vertical access, keeping the structure of the defense intact. I think he plays like a coach on the field, which I love. Like you said, a poor man's Caleb Downs kind of. I like that a lot. He sees, route combinations develop. He understands spacing. He can react with patience instead of panic, which is awesome. That's exactly what you want from, a middle deep safety in today's NFL. His combine numbers were pretty good too. He's 6'3", 201, good size for a safety. 4.52 speed, not a burner, but that doesn't matter back there. He's still got sufficient speed. And like I said, just the length and enough athleticism to cover ground without wasting motion. I think he could be a center fielder for this team. Across 48 games, he had 106 solo tackles and 108 assisted tackles for 214 stops, 11 tackles for a loss, career sack, 5 interceptions, and a pick 6. 13 pass breakups, 2 fumble recoveries, 9 forced fumbles. This dude's all over the field. Of course, it's in the MAC. It's a lower, a little bit lower level competition, but
he's still making plays. Yeah,
exactly. His strengths, he's got deep field discipline. He's got elite angle IQ. He is great at precision and angles and pursuing, route runners or ball carriers. I'm tired today. Sorry. Great natural ball tracking as well. He's smooth with his movement skills. Just really, really smart player. Has high football intelligence. A very reliable tackler. And I just think the perfect fit for split field and single high. Weaknesses, he's not going to be a box safety. He's got limited short area bursts, I've noticed.
Okay.
Doesn't necessarily play with a violent downhill trigger. He's controlled, not necessarily explosive, but he still loves to hit. And maybe his block shedding needs a little bit more work. But I love it.
Also, then you keep him back and let him play center field, like you said.
Yep.
I mean, you don't necessarily bring him down against the run. That's okay.
Yeah, I think if he develops, the way that he becomes a long-term, deep middle anchor of this defense. The type of safety that makes everyone else's job easier because he eliminates the throws that break a defense. He's not flashy, but he is absolutely stabilizing, and every great defense needs that guy. And I think he's going to be that guy for a long time for the Browns. I really love this fit. So.
Okay. Can he start right away over Ronnie Hickman, do you think, or no?
I think within mid-season he'll be starting over Ronnie Hickman.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Then that's a really good value pick then in the second round, I think. I mean, number 58 overall? 58. That's crazy to me again.
He brings more range, more length, more deep field discipline. I think he's probably not day one, but definitely at some point in year one, he'll be the starter. So.
Okay. All right. I think he projects well. A little bit of a, maybe not as high of a floor as Caleb Downs, but high floor, high ceiling kind of a guy, right? You get him,
and it makes up for a lot for me personally. Like that was my player. I wanted him at 6. I wanted him at 9. I get that we didn't take him. I get we went for the best offensive line. I get all that. This relieves that wound a little bit, I think, because I think it's such a great fit. So
yeah, I think so. I think if Caleb Downs is a 10 out of 10 back there, I think EMW, I like it. I think EMW is probably like an 8.2 out of 10, maybe. I got two TKs in the studio. I'm not sure what's going on. Remove that one. Add that one. Oh, that's creepy. TK.
Okay, I'm going to go on to Austin Barber as we're doing that. Or unless you had a question.
Yeah. No, I don't have any questions. I have nothing.
Okay.
I don't know why we have 2 TKs in the studio. I'm confused about that, but that's my question. But go ahead.
It's all good. Yeah, I see that. Austin Barber, round 3, pick 86. I didn't flinch for a second when he was taken. I think this is exactly the type of pick that smart teams make. After committing to Spencer Fano as the future left tackle, after he was taken, Todd Monken addressed that immediately and said he will be the left tackle. Adding Austin Barber gives you the Browns something that they absolutely needed. A natural blindside tackle who can step in immediately if anything goes sideways, and I think that's what they have here. Brown fans might not want to hear, the word insurance, but that's exactly what this is. I think, Fano is transitioning from right tackle to left tackle. I think he'll be fine. I think, he'll be better than fine probably, but you don't go into a season with, one plan at left tackle, especially with the history of, Jed Wills and all these other guys, DeJuan Jones, who maybe could have succeeded at left tackle, but we'll never know because he's injured all the time. Barber gives you, a true left tackle with SEC experience, a technician who doesn't beat himself, a stabilizer if injuries hit again, which with our offensive line could be anytime. A player who can start games without the offense collapsing, and he's relatively versatile. I think he play left and right tackle if you need him to. I think this is a huge part of the Browns rebuild. He's not a project. He's just steady, defendable, NFL-ready tackle. He also had some injuries in his career. He had a nagging upper body injury in 2023, a shoulder issue that kept him out of 2024 spring camp. Limited mobility during parts of the 23 season as well. I mean, those injuries obviously hurt him in his draft rankings. I think if you would have played both seasons, he might have been a top 40 pick, but we'll never know. That's hindsight. I do really like the value here. In terms of strengths, he's got, clean controlled pass sets, strong independent hands, a really relatively reliable anchor as well, especially for that, blind side. He's smart as well. He got a high football IQ. He can see stunts early, passes off games cleanly, and then understands leverage like a veteran, I think. Got great consistency, natural blindside experience, which Fano really has a little bit, but not as much. And then scheme versatility. He's not a high-end athlete. He's not, got limited explosiveness in the run game. Doesn't have the elite recovery burst, but I think he can gain all that with coaching. And for the pick here, I think for the pick, I think it's great value. I really like it a lot. So,
okay, and if we're gonna make just blind observations based on last names, like some of the guys at the 4-letter network, you can also cut everyone's hair in the locker room, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
We're fine.
Yeah.
I think TK, you and I talked about Austin Barber a little bit yesterday. I think we can. I want to hear. I know you like to pick. Again, versatile, played both left tackle and right tackle, can step in if something goes wrong. Love that. I've heard basically. I didn't know anything really about him before the draft, to be honest with you. Just wasn't one of the guys on my radar, but I've also heard a lot of people say that he's freakishly strong. I think this is the type of guy this offensive line can use, whether he's a starter, whether he's backup, depth, whatever. It's nice to have a bunch of really strong guys on the offensive line. It helps. The injury concerns, I guess, are there, but again, it's a 3rd-round pick, so whatever. You take him with a 3rd-round pick. If he comes in and fills in, he's a good depth piece. Great.
I think why this matters too. If you rewind to the 2025 season, the Browns had one of the worst offensive lines in football. They lost almost every starter on that bad football team to injuries or free agency, or retirement possibly. The interior was a revolving door. The communication was a mess. The run game collapsed. The protection calls were inconsistent. It was a disaster. And then, Andrew Berry left us with the state of just questions. We had no offensive linemen going into the 2026 season. It was a disaster. Let's be, and fast forward to now, you got, Zion Johnson, Eldon Jenkins, Tevin Jenkins, Titus Howard. Then you had Spencer Fano, Austin Barber, Parker Brailsford, along with Daylon Jones, Zach Zinter, Luke Whippler. This is a complete overhaul. This is a transformation. I think, that's how you protect a young quarterback. And I have to applaud him for that a little bit. I'm excited. As much as a question and a major need it was, and how bad the position group was last year, we are making significant strides in trying to make that better. And that makes me happy. So
yeah, probably not the top offensive line in the league.
Sure.
Probably not the top 5 or 10, but
we just need to protect the quarterback. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They've improved, and it's a strength of this team now. I think it's say what you want about the team, about the Browns, but I think the offensive line is now, you could consider it a strength. I mean, they're building the foundation going forward. And by the way, a lot of really good offensive linemen in next year's draft too.
And there's a lot of versatility. Some of these guys have played a lot of positions. Some guys are playing right and left tackle. Every tackle on our team right now has probably started off as a right tackle and moved over to left tackle. I can name 3 right now. So at least they can play both. Allegedly, maybe not great at both.
And don't forget about DeJuan Jones. I mean, coming back from injury, maybe asked to do a little bit less.
He looks great too. Lost some weight, looking healthy. So stay healthy and let's see what happens. So
I mean, all of a sudden you've got some players there now. I like that. So let's get to. I want to talk about Parker Brailsford. Versatility on the line. I think good center out. I trust Alabama centers, right? I mean, I trusted them more under Nick Saban, but it's fine. It's still Alabama. And they're not in a terrible situation, but you trust guys like Justin Jefferson and Parker Brailsford coming in under Nick Saban, maybe a little bit more than what's going on now, but that's okay. Tell me about Parker Brailsford a little bit.
I'm not exaggerating here when I say this. I absolutely lost it when the Browns drafted Parker Brailsford. He is my top ranked center in this draft on my big board. Okay. Not 3, not 5. He is my number 1. We talked about this a couple months ago with TK. TK loved him as well, and I got giddy when we drafted him, man. We got him at pick 146 in the 5th round. That's absurd value. Even I think this is a weaker center class. Even with the weaker center class,
about how centers might drop. We talked about that. Yeah,
sure. Yeah, I think this is the type of pick that makes you shake your head and wonder how the rest of the league let this happen. The Browns didn't just get a depth piece. I think they got a legitimate long-term start at the position that desperately needed stability. And the best part is Andrew Berry didn't just pass the offensive line; he's built it from the ground up. Like I said, with all these extra players. So, Brailsford, I think he's one of the smartest offensive linemen I've probably ever seen. Evaluated in a long time, at least. He plays the position like a quarterback. He sees the entire picture. He diagnoses fronts instantly. He can keep the entire interior operation clean. His processing is absolutely elite. His communication is elite. His leverage is elite. He was a captain on the Alabama team. His leadership is elite. He's not the biggest center in the world, as TK alluded to, 6'2", 289, but he plays with such precision and such control that, I think size rarely becomes a liability. His movement skills are outstanding. His reach block ability is rare. His angles are perfect. His timing is surgical. He is a modern center built for zone, built for movement, built for timing-based offenses. And I think in Todd Monken's scheme, he's going to fit like a glove. Like I said, he's got elite football intelligence, exceptional leverage as well, rare movement skills, clean controlled pass sets, outstanding short technique, high end zone fit, I would say. He's tailor-made for wide zone, mid zone, movement-based run schemes, and he's very, very consistent. Obviously, the weaknesses, he's undersized for a traditional center. His anchor can be tested by elite power because of that size. Not necessarily a scheme universal player, but he fits our scheme, so that doesn't matter.
So watch out for the Bengals, you're telling me.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes can need guard help against, a massive O techniques, but, in limited frame growth, I think. But I think he's going to have immediate impact. I don't know if he's going to be starting right away because Elgden, I'm losing a name here. Jenkins, yeah, is the center, but I think he's a long-term answer at center. He's a perfect scheme fit. I think once Jenkins eventually moves back to guard or ages out of the center position, I think Brailsford steps right in as a full-time center. And when that happens, the Browns will have a player who, can keep the protection calls clean, who executes every zone concept, neutralizes quick interior rushers, elevates the guard next to him, and fits perfectly with a young quarterback. I think this is a long-term foundational piece, and the value is incredible. I really like Parker Brailsford a lot. So
I picked number 137, if I'm doing the math correctly in my head, because ESPN likes to tell you the number of pick in the round, not the overall pick. That drives me insane. Anyway,
he's 146. Round
I'm
5.
sorry. Yeah, I'm looking at
even better value.
Well, that's fine. I'm not a math guy. I was told there would be no math. But you're looking at Parker Brailsford and you look at Justin Jefferson. So now you take the two guys from Alabama, and TK did not. I was going to make a joke specifically for TK, and he left.
He sensed it.
He knew. He's like, here comes the stupid dad joke. Well, I was going to say the two guys you got from Alabama. Oh, he's back. Hold on. He'll hear this just in time. Let's add him in. Okay, so now TK can know that. Maybe you won't know. Wait, there he is. So now, TK, you can hear my dad joke. My dumb dad joke is going to be the two guys that you take from Alabama. First of all, you don't mind developing a long-term center in the 5th round. That's fine. And the two guys you took from Alabama are PB and J's.
Oh, Lord.
No? Oh, God. Okay, I'm sorry. I tried. Okay, well, anyway, Justin Jefferson. Let's move on. We got crickets. Hold on. We can do that.
Hey, mine was my own mouth, though.
I'm more impressed with your way better than mine. Way better than my joke too. But you tell me a little bit about Justin Jefferson, and then I'm gonna ask TK if he kind of agrees with you on PB and J's. I'm doing it again.
Yeah.
I'm doubling down.
Yeah, so they took him 149 round 5. I thought it was a perfect day 3 type of linebacker pick. He's got high effort, high urgency. Run and chase. He's a run and chase will, I think, who fits exactly what the defense wants from the depth pieces. He's not the prototype, Mike. He's not a hybrid safety. He's not a downhill thumper even. He's a modern weak side linebacker who plays fast, plays tough, and plays with the kind of energy that shows up on every snap. I didn't expect him necessarily to be available this late. Not with his. I think he's got a great athletic profile. He's got decent production, and he's got wonderful special teams value as well. I thought the NFL would have jumped earlier for me. I think this is type of the pick that rounds the roster and gives a player who can contribute immediately on special teams by developing into a rotational defender. I like the pick as soon as it happened. The Browns have a very clear type at linebacker now. They have fast, urgent players, undersized but explosive. They have great pursuit, high motor, special teams temperament. That's Schlesinger, that's Quincy Williams, and now that's Justin Jefferson. He's going to fit the room perfectly, fit the scheme perfectly, and he's going to fit the culture. I think this is exactly the linebacker that Mike Runeberg wants in the building. I think he plays with real range, real burst. Has got some competitive toughness that I really, really like. And like I said, he's going to be great on special teams. He's not a processor in the mold of a Mike linebacker. He's more of a see it and go type of guy, who plays fast once the picture becomes clear. And I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. That's exactly what you want from Will anyway. true sideline to sideline range, which is that's the theme here in our linebacker room, I would say. An explosive first step. His 1.60 split showed on tape. When he triggers, he gets downhill really, really fast. I really like it. He's got really high effort as well. Strong zone awareness. Relatively reliable tackler. I cannot talk, guys. He's undersized to fill the full-time box role, limited length and not necessarily a matchup defender, but he's going to be a great depth piece for this linebacker room and not necessarily he just fits exactly what we're looking for a backup for one of these guys. So I like it a lot. He's going to be a rotational will that is basically the off brand of what Weston Sure is. So.
Okay. And I think when you said the Browns have a type at linebacker, I hesitate to use this name because he was so just full of tools and skills and all the things, but it's almost like a lot of little I want to use the phrase poor man, but poor man's Ryan Shazier, the sideline guys who can chase down a play. And no one's going to be Ryan Shazier. I mean, he was one of a kind.
Right.
I remember watching him at Ohio State was absolutely unbelievable. He was all over the place. It felt like they needed to widen the field because he was everywhere. But TK, first of all, how do you feel about PB&Js? I love it. I'm going to keep doing it. If you can do EMW, I can do PB&J. It's fine. But I mean, how do you feel? I know you like Parker Brailsford, but Justin Jefferson, you said maybe like you said earlier, maybe not an every down type of guy, but good depth at linebacker, right?
Listen, everybody loves themselves a nice peanut butter and jelly sandwich. The one that
Classic.
we have in the draft, I definitely think is going to be able to do dividends for our football team. Like you said, I already alluded to Parker Brailsford. Justin Jefferson, the linebacker. This cat right here is a Mac Wilson clone. Mike linebacker, sideline to sideline guy, solid in coverage, but still somewhat iffy. A willing tackler, an energy guy. Guy's an energizer bunny in the middle of that defense. That is what I believe the Cleveland Browns are going to expect him to bring, much like Mac Wilson when he was on the Browns. Now he's the starter, I think, in New England.
Let's find that out.
Possibly New England. Because I think he was in Arizona for a little bit. Then he went to the Patriots for a little bit. Whatever.
I think
But
it might be
With the Cardinals now.
Yeah.
He's back with the Cardinals?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I definitely think this was done in the resemblance of, hey, this guy reminds us a lot of how Mac used to be. He's about the same size. They got the same traits just about. This guy can move very well. I definitely think he can play the will position. He's definitely talented enough, versatile enough to slide a spot over and still be able to contribute. But definitely.
It's funny. I see him more as a Will than a Mike. So.
Right. Oh snap! Sorry, my fault.
It's all right.
I definitely think he can play either linebacker position. This is definitely going to help us out, and it's definitely going to be a replacement. That of JOK. I know a lot of people are still holding out hope for him to come back, but this was definitely a move that I thought needed to be made to help out the depth in the linebacker room that was no longer there, especially with the losses that we've had.
Yeah, the difference with Mac Wilson was, he was a former 5th-round pick who was the absolute starter. We thought him and Taki, they had to be the guys. This guy is a rotational piece. He doesn't have to be the starter. He can just be a flash player who gets in there a couple, 10, 15 snaps a game and plays full-time special teams and can be a disruptor. And that's what I really like about him. So
is he going to be good at all at getting after the quarterback? Can you use him? Can you send him on a blitz? I mean, or no, is he not that type of guy?
He's pretty quick. We'll see. I don't think he's as fast on the first step, probably against mass, those tackles in the NFL. But I'd send him. So once in a while.
Okay. Yeah, send it. Why not?
He's not Arvell Reese for sure, but
no. A lot of people aren't Arvell Reese, but that's okay. That's all right. Let's just do this. Let's move on. Let's do like 30 seconds to a minute real quick on Joe Royer. I know it's hard. I know. I'm sorry.
You're killing me.
And then Carson Ryan, because we got to get out of here. We got to do some Cavs stuff before they play the Raptors. They're going to tip off at 1.
Yeah.
We definitely want to talk about that. We're gonna talk about the last couple draft picks. We're going to get back. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit of Cavs Raptors. But first, Joe Royer and Carson Ryan. Tell me about these fellas.
I love Joe Royer. I've known about. I mean, he used to be a Buckeye. He played for Cincinnati. Yeah. He going into last year's college football season. I do college football, fantasy football as well, C2C or Devy, and he was the consensus #1 tight end taken at every single draft I did. They love him, and honestly, he's a pretty good sleeper for me. He was maybe, I don't know now, but was a good sleeper. I loved him for fantasy football going into this year. I love Joe Royer. I think Browns fans are going to love him too. He's tough. He's physical. He's reliable. He plays the positions, the ways that coaches want it to be played. He's not gadgety, but he's not a big slot. I think he's a real inline presence who can block. He's got great hands and he can handle the dirty work. So think Harold Fannin more of the guy who's going to just be pretty much the receiver. He's going to be the blocker, but he can also slip off screens. He's got great hands, relative decent speed as well. The Browns needed another tight end who can hold up in line, who can anchor the edge, who can play in heavy personnel, catch the ball reliably. Usually those blockers lack the reliable hands or vice versa. This guy has both. He's going to give Todd Monken flexibility in 12 personnel. He can check every one of those boxes. I really, really like him. He's not flashy, but he is a technician. He is strong. He is disciplined. He's assignment sound, coming off of 2 extremely productive seasons at Cincinnati where he proved he can handle volume and responsibility. He plays with great leverage, strength, timing, technique, physicality. Man, you're making me go so fast here. This sucks. I just like him. He's got a strong frame, 6'5", 247, very long arms, naturally can create space and shields defenders. He got reliable hands and can block. I think this guy, he's been my sleeper for a while. I love him a lot. So.
Okay. No, I'm just going to I'm going to ask you a question about Carson Ryan. I'm going to ask you a point blank question. He's a little, I feel maybe undersized, maybe under strength for a tight end. He's taken with almost the last pick in the draft. About a month ago, if you remember, Todd Monken had told the media, he said, hey, listen, I'd like to have a fullback on this roster. I want to bring back is Carson Ryan, do you think a guy that they're looking at maybe converting into a fullback to see what he's got there?
I can see that. I liked him as a tight end 3 regardless. He's tough. He's physical. He's well-rounded. He has got effort. He understands his leverage and brings a blend of receiving ability as well. And like I said, blocking competitiveness, which could translate well to the fullback position. I think it's got him. That's probably either tight end 3 or fullback if they want to do that. That's probably where he'll stick on this roster. He's going to play special teams. He blocks with real effort and can catch the ball reliably. I probably wouldn't have taken a third tight end here, especially when there's so many undrafted free agents. We're going to haven't even talked about the undrafted free agent class. I really like some of those guys too. Fano bringing in his brother. I love Aaron Anderson, the receiver out of LSU coming in. Especially the value there. I'll stop talking. I know we got to talk Cavs, but overall, this draft,
blame the NBA. It's not my fault. Blame the NBA.
Yeah, I can't believe what Andrew Berry did in this draft. I covered a lot of Browns draft, and I've seen the good, the bad, and what the hell was that type of picks?
Ugly.
But
yeah.
This one, it feels different. It feels intentional. It feels like it feels like the front office that finally understands the assignment and is trying to finally execute it with precision. They address their weaknesses. They got offensive line help early, 2 stud wide receivers, and then a starting left tackle, 2 top 40 receivers. Their future starting free safety, I absolutely believe that. Developmental quarterback with insane upside, a swing tackle, my top center, a sleeper tight end, a versatile tight end 3. And like I said, that undrafted free agent class is insane. I think this is a master class. I think we'll have to wait, obviously, until we see what happens till the end of the season. I think this is better than last year's draft, guys. Instead of punting positions of need down the road and drafting 2 quarterbacks and 2 running backs, they went full force and head on and got these positions of need, and still got some picks for next year. I think they got a 4th for next year. This is an absolute A+ for me. I think that they has swung for upside, find real value everywhere, and rebuilt all the businesses in need. This is how you build a contender. And for me being a notorious Andrew Berry hater, I'm giving us flowers. I'm elated. I'm so elated.
It just proves that you're a reasonable guy, Ryan. Listen, he did great. I think the draft was great. We'll have to see how it all shakes out on the field.
Sure.
But right now, I mean, it's whatever. It looks to be, like you said, full of upside, full of they're filling holes, and not just filling holes. They're filling holes with some pretty good football players and with good value at the picks that they got them at. So I think we're all pretty happy about that. Let's take a break. When we come back, Cavs, Raptors, Game 4, 1:00. It's in Toronto. A key player has been ruled out for the rest of the series. We'll see who that is when we get back. It was just about 5 minutes on the Inside Edge Network. We'll be right back. Whether you're searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and player. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, but you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Mossor Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Ryan and Hallie Mossor. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio, but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MossorMomentsPhotography.com. Clean energy, bold flavors, no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Helps you lock in and focus. Over 15 absolute fire flavors to choose from. Visit Dubby.gg and use promo code InsideEdge10.
Chad, you're muted, bro.
No, I'm not. You just can't hear, Ryan. Listen, so what happened to TK? All right, listen, I dropped my phone and I hit a bunch of keys on my keyboard. It brought up all the developer stuff on the window. And I have no idea how that even happened, but that's what I get for texting during the breaks. But we are back on the Inside Edge Network. We're back with the Sunday morning sports show, and the developers tools mean absolutely nothing to me. I'm not an IT guy. There's nothing I was going to fix out of that window, so I don't know why I would show me that, but that should not even be an option on my computer. Anyway, we are back. We got to talk Cavs Raptors. They play at 1 o'clock today. Tip off in just about less than 25 minutes here. They're going to be in Toronto, and the Raptors, I would say they have a whole problem with Emmanuel Quickly being ruled out for the rest of the series. But Quickly, I would say that he wasn't there in Game 3, and it didn't seem to be a problem for Toronto. So I don't know, man. TK, make me feel better, because I felt really good after games 1 and 2. But those were in Cleveland, right? And we talked about Toronto being a weird place to play. You got Drake, you got everything else going on. You got the wrong setup. Man, I hit all kinds of buttons here. Anyway, my phone did a lot of damage right there in that small little fall. But TK, just tell me quickly, no pun intended, does this matter? I didn't mean to do that one. That was an accident. But yeah, tell me, does this actually hurt the Raptors? I mean, it should hurt the Raptors. It should really limit their half-court game, which has already been limited. I mean, they're a transition team. They like to get out on fast breaks and score on the run. But now the Cavs can really, I think, kind of zero down on the wings and maybe pay more attention to RJ Barrett and I would say Brandon Ingram, but Ingram hasn't been a factor in the series really at all. So maybe I woke him up today. He's probably not watching. He's probably doing some pregame stuff. But TK, make me feel better about the Cavs right now, please.
TK, you mute yourself, bud.
Okay, here we go. I can do the best that I can, but it's kind of hard when their starting point guard hasn't played all series. Soon as we go to Scotiabank Arena, we receive a Joe Jackson-sized ass whooping and allow 126 points. So I really don't know exactly where to go from here. But what you would like to see is a revitalized effort. You want these guys to be able to take that Joe Jackson ass whooping that they received on Thursday and say, hey, there was no reason for that to happen. Yeah. And we talked about Brandon Ingram and how much of a non-factor that he has been. Rowan Barrett Jr. and Scotty Barnes out there running things. We have got to do something about those two. At this point, it doesn't even matter about Emmanuel Quickly. It literally just took one game for the series to be completely flipped on its head. And now game 4, man, I expect a very competitive battle. I expect both teams to go absolutely balls to the wall today. But I do think the advantage is more than likely going to go to the Toronto Raptors. We are just not good away from Rocket Mortgage Arena. We just aren't. And you saw it in game 4. You know, all the fast break points that we were limiting in Rocket Mortgage Arena, yeah, they got all those at will once we got to Scotiabank Arena. It's just a completely different atmosphere for these guys. They looked ill-prepared as hell in game 3. It was just an absolute mess. I get for the majority of the first half, it was a competitive game. We were able to flip back and forth between the draft and the game, and, you know, this, that, and the other. You know, bars got like 100 TVs and things like that. So, yeah. We were able to see that they were able to keep the game close for the first half. But I swear, deep into that third quarter, the wheels came spinning all the way off into the highway and caused numerous crashes amongst ourselves. And so, to be quite honest, I really don't know what to think that's going on today for our Cleveland Cavaliers, to be quite honest. If we get the defensive effort that we got on Thursday, you know, you might as well just hurry up and go back to Cleveland because the series is going 7 games. The series is going to go 7 games, and we're going to get that type of effort. I just don't see it at all. Evan Mobley is probably the most facetious defensive player of the year award winner that I have ever seen in recent memory. This guy is not locked down whatsoever. Jared Allen doesn't block shots anymore. He just doesn't give a damn. You know, it's just a mess. And I hate to be this emotional, this dramatic, this damn annoying and greasy over one game, but at the same time, when the dynamic flips as quickly as it did, you guys were doing all the right things, limiting the fast break points, establishing the half-court offense, getting those guys down on the block, and abusing them as much as possible. Evan Mobley should be taking Scotty Barnes out to the shed every damn trip. The fact that you got racked up with 33 points in game 3, son, look in the mirror and be very ashamed. Be very damn ashamed, because that shit shouldn't have happened at all. Good Lord, calm down, TK. Watch your mouth. Anyway, so for the big picture of this game, it's like, listen, defensive effort has to step back up. The defensive effort has got to be there. I don't see how you expect to win a game allowing 126 points and you're on the road. I just don't see it. We have got to make shots. We got to do something about Scott and RJ.
And real quick, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's a team that doesn't score well. They don't shoot well, rather. They really don't have much of a half-court offense. Yeah, giving up 126 points to this team is
lighting our asses up.
Yeah,
it's disgusting. So, you know, we have to get back to hitting shots as well. We did a piss poor job of that in game 3, and Toronto shot the absolute lights out. You got RJ Barrett hitting 5 threes on you. I'm sorry, you already lost. No need to even try anymore. You lost the damn game. He doesn't even average 2 3-point makes a game. He splashed you for 5. Be ashamed, Cleveland. We got to come with it today. That just wasn't it. That just wasn't it at all.
Yeah, can't let the series go 2-2. Or like you said, I think it's going 7. If they come back to Cleveland with it 2-2. It's probably going to go 7, and that's the one thing we said that can't happen. I mean, yes, it's a 4-5 matchup in number and seeds or whatever, but these teams, the Cavs aren't a 4 seed, right? They got tough start to the season. Whatever they went out, obviously the trade for James Harden. You know, they're not a typical 4 seed. This isn't your normal 4-5 matchup. It can't shake out like one on the floor. It cannot go 7 games. TK, if it does go 7 games, I'm feeling real bad about the Cavs getting out of the second round. I mean, bad. So yeah, they have to be better.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
ain't gonna happen.
I know. It feels bad. Ryan, I don't know, man. I mean, we didn't get a chance to watch much of Game 3. We were predisposed. we had a lot going on, man. There was. Again, I've had dreams. Pick is in, trade. Pick is in, trade. I just wild. It's so fast. But that's okay. That's fine. But yeah, I don't know. They got to do something differently, right? First of all, the defensive effort has to be better. It can't be what it was Thursday night. They've got to get back on defense. You can't have a couple guys. And I said the Raptors are going to have a couple guys having 30, 35, 40-point games to even beat the Cavs. And at the time when I said that, I was like, they're not going to be able to do that. And then they did it. Can they do that again? I mean, the Cavs aren't jet lagged from an hour flight to Toronto. Like, what's the reason for the lack of defensive effort when they get there? That doesn't make sense. What are they doing?
Right. I don't know. They need to protect the ball, I think, first off. I mean, they got to limit the turnovers. Yeah. If they're sloppy again this game, Toronto will run them out of the gym, I think. I think that's the main thing. And, defensive effort needs to be back where it was. I mean, ideally, you don't want them to lose, especially in the first round of the playoffs. But, I mean, if this is the wake-up call they need, a little slap in the mouths, okay, this isn't a walkthrough. We need to actually compete here and actually get through the first round, then I like it, Harden has to have control of the game again, I think. I think Toronto bothered him in Game 3. Cleveland needs to – the organizer version of Harden, not the rush or, turnover heavy version. I think Mobley and Allen are going to have to reestablish the paint, especially, late in the fourth quarter of Game 3. The bigs had to be pulled away from the rim because of the shots, and Cleveland needs to dictate, those matchups again. I think if Donovan Mitchell sets the tone early, that would be huge. He doesn't need 40, of course. He just needs to control the game's energy. And when he's aggressive early, the Cavs seem to settle in more, and I think that's what they're going to need. One thing's for sure, Toronto's going to throw everything at this game. Their season's on the line. They're at home. They're desperate. You need to expect pressure, traps, and a fast pace. Cleveland got punched in the mouth Game 3. Today is about composure. I think if the Cavs take care of the ball, if they control the paint and get Harden back in rhythm, I think they walk out of Toronto 3-1. If they let this turn into another, track meet, Toronto's has the confidence and the athletes to make this a long series, and that's not what you want. I don't want to do 7 games. I'd rather have a few days off for rest for going into round 2, hopefully, Eastern Conference Finals, but they did not look good last on Thursday, and a lot of things are going to have to change. This can't go to seven games. It can't.
No, and I'm sitting here talking like it's a guarantee that they'll win in Game 7. I
said games or Cavs in 4. So,
oops. I know that. After the first 2 games, it looked like that's what it was going to be. They had nothing. They couldn't do anything. They were no match for Cleveland, and now suddenly they look like they could be the better team. I mean, if things go right. We talked about, what happened if Boston got to James Harden this way, and now Toronto's doing it. If they bothered him with, defensive pressure and whatever else, and it caused the turnovers, and here we are. Now we're not even out of the first round, and if things don't go to plan, the Cavs could come back home, in a series tie at 2-2. And that makes me nervous. That makes me really nervous.
I'm not going to overreact. I'm not worried. I think the Cavs are going to win this series. I hope it's going to be in 5 now. And I mean, the Cavs are the better team. Like you said, you can't rely on Barnes and Barrett to carry your whole team the whole way. The Cavs are better in every way. So the Toronto's going to have to play perfect. The Cavs just need to play their style of basketball, and that's all they have to do. So.
Yeah. Well, they better hope Brandon Ingram doesn't wake up too. I mean, that's going to be, that's another issue, but we'll see what happens. All right. Well, that's at 1:00 today. Where is that game? Do we know where that game is? I know where it is. It's in Toronto, but as far as being able to watch it, hold on, let me pull up our schedule here, because I believe we have game. It's on ESPN. Okay. Nice. So there you go. It's finally not like one of the weird streaming things. And then, of course, you can also listen to our friend of the Inside Edge Network, Tim Alcorn, on 100.7 FM. He'll have the play-by-play for you there. So if you don't want to watch the ESPN broadcast, you can listen to it. I think sometimes listening to sporting events is I don't know, more rewarding, but whatever. So let's do this. Let's get out of here. I'm going to get you guys to the Cavs game on time. We'll get you there for the pregame, for the tip-off, and everything else. Since we have a few minutes here, let's talk about what's on our minds a little bit. Do either one of you want to go first?
I'll go first this time.
Okay, go first.
Yeah. Before we do that, though, I want to talk about my son James real quick, just because I've done it every show. I'm not going to stop now. My son James, my 4-year-old, is in the junior Rangerette competition. Basically, he's actually in round 3 now. He's in the top 10. They're going to top 5 now. He's currently ranked 3rd in his division, so looking good, but not great, but still looking really good. Really excited about it. If you've heard me talk about it before, you know, this kid lives and breathes animals. I posted tons of videos. You know, he's always spitting facts and is just really, really interested in wildlife in general. Really excited about it. There's the link there. If you can copy and paste that, or you can go to my Twitter right now at DynastyCLE. You can vote for free one time a day. It takes a second. I would really, really greatly appreciate it. Just if some of you would vote for my son, I'll tweet it at DynastyCLE on Twitter right now. Or right after I'm done talking, when TK starts talking, and then you can go and vote. I'd really, really greatly appreciate it. I'm not saying he's going to win, but I just, you know, I'm going to fight for my kid. I think we all can stand for that. All right, real quick, what's on my mind? Before we wrap up today's show, I did want to take a moment to talk about something that has meant the world to me. You know, I've been working towards this for half a year now. Thursday night, we talked about it a little bit. Chad was there. We had a lot of fun on the Commissioner's Couch podcast because we hosted our first ever NFL draft special for the Insiders Network. You know, I'm not exaggerating when I say this. It was one of the most, you know, rewarding nights of my entire short career so far in sports media. You know, I've been grinding for 6 months for this one show, not casually prepping, not throwing together a few notes. I put over 250 hours into scouting, film work, writing, building boards, creating, you know, lists and just rehearsing segments and making sure that every single detail is ready for Thursday, all while balancing a newborn, 2 toddlers, a full-time job, and owning a business, and, you know, everything else that life throws at you. So, you know, there were nights where I was up till 3 a.m. writing scouting reports. I woke up so many mornings at 4 a.m. just to get stuff done before work. You know, and, you know, the weekends where my wife, Hallie, had to be a superhero because she held down the entire fort so I could keep grinding and never once complained. So I'm so grateful for that. Even with all that work, I didn't know what to expect going into this thing. You know, I questioned, you know, I had a little bit of imposter syndrome. You know I put in the work. I know, you know, what I'm talking about, but do other people see me that way? You know, would anyone watch? Would the show run smoothly? Would, you know, months of preparation actually pay off? And, you know, once the numbers started rolling in, you know, I was giddy, man. By the end of it, we had over 350 live viewers, which is insane. I'm sorry, excuse me, I said 350. 850. Over 850 live viewers, excuse me. 850 people tune in to me and my co-host David talk about fantasy football, to a show that didn't even exist a year ago. Obviously, it broke tons of records for our show. You usually have about 200 live viewers, 500 total for the week. This was 850 live viewers. You know, if you're looking at it like you're giving a presentation in front of an audience, that's 850 people sitting in front of you as you're talking. That means a lot to me. I can't even describe how that felt. It wasn't just excitement. It wasn't validation. It was proof that the work that I put in mattered. Proof that people believed in what, you know, I was building and my co-host was building, and proof that, you know, I think my show has a real future. I'm just really excited about it. I put in a lot of work and I'm so proud of myself. I'm proud of my co-host, David. I'm about to start crying. I'm sorry. I'm just really grateful, man, for the preparation that he put in every step. I'm proud of everyone at the Inside Edge Network who helped make this possible. Chad was behind the scenes producing the whole time. I was so grateful for him. Unbelievably grateful for my wife, Hallie. None of this would have happened without her, and just her grace. You know, and that was only our 23rd episode, 850 people live. It was really, really cool. I can't imagine what episode 50, 100, even next year's draft show is going to look like. So I'm very grateful for all of you guys, very grateful for those who watched, and just, it was definitely validation that I needed, and I'm very happy. Again, please go vote for my son, James, on my Twitter right now. I'll retweet at DynastyCLE the video. Check out this video. It's really cute. And please vote for my son, James, from the Junior Ranger competition. Thank you.
Yeah. First of all, your son, James, the videos are amazing. Ryan, we're proud of you, man. The work that you put in is unbelievable. You guys, you and David absolutely killed it. All I did was just try to keep the ship going over here. I did very little. You guys,
sorry, I'm gonna cry like a pansy right now.
That's okay. Hey, man, sometimes you gotta cry. Man. I cry every day when the show has to start, because I'm like, oh, here we go. I gotta keep this going. Listen, man, we're very, very proud of you. We're proud of the work you put in. Proud of the job that you do, man. We quite honestly wouldn't be what we are without you, Ryan. So we appreciate you. You did amazing.
Oh,
you
I
always
know.
do amazing. That's just what you do. That's what you do. That's who you are. Period. So that's who you are. Absolutely. Also, I have a story for you when we're off air. I didn't get to tell you.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell it. I'll tell it maybe on air, but we might not have enough time. So, TK, tell me what's on your mind.
Not much after that. First of all,
sorry.
No, you're good. I'm thankful for all of you guys here at the Insiders Network. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to be here. with you guys. I've definitely enjoyed this entire process throughout these past 7 months. But I don't have really too much on my mind today. Just wanted to give a birthday shout out, not to a family member. Well, she kind of is family, not a celebrity, but to my 5-year-old bulldog, Bailey. He just turned 5 today. I got her as a birthday present about 5 years ago when I turned 29. So, just to see her, just grow into this massive beast that she is now. But she's still a good one. So happy birthday, happy 5th birthday to my American bulldog, Bailey.
Oh.
So.
I forgot my son's birthday was yesterday too. So happy birthday to my 3-year-old Callum. Sorry about that. Bailey and Callum, love the birthdays. Let's go.
Yep. Everybody, my wedding anniversary was yesterday, Ryan.
A lot 42nd, right?
Weekend, man. We all have a lot. What's that?
42nd, right?
Yeah, I've been married for 42 years. Yeah, I'm well over 7 years old. It's clearly obvious. 17th wedding anniversary. I've said it before. I said it on air yesterday. How anyone would want to stay married to me for 17 years is beyond me. But I appreciate my wife. We know that all wives and moms are pretty much superheroes. Yeah. So we definitely appreciate the work that they put in and the time that they cover when we're doing this, when we're sitting in front of a camera talking about sports. And I appreciate my wife. I know you appreciate yours. I appreciate your wife. I appreciate all you guys, man. I appreciate your bulldog. Honestly, right? I mean, your dog sacrifices that we need to see. When we're on air. So we all appreciate that. But really
Mother's
Ryan,
Day is coming up. Mother's Day is coming up. Remember to love your mother, courtesy of Willie Brown. Rest in peace, brother. Sorry about that.
Take care of the mothers in your lives, man, because just take care of the mothers in your lives. I'll say that.
I just found out that votes are doubled today for my son. So if you vote once for free, it counts as 2. So please go to my Twitter at DynastyCLE and vote. I just retweeted. Sorry, I'm done talking about it.
Please do that. We have to give what we do. Please do that. Really quickly before we go off here, I'm going to tell you, Ryan, a quick funny story. Your son would have loved it. Okay, so we were watching TV. My wife and I were hanging out the other night. Kids were in bed. It was late. And, my wife was in and out of sleep. She was whatever. She's tired. She works hard. Like I said, she's a superhero. So I'm walking over to get some water out of the fridge. That used to work, by the way. Yesterday, my refrigerator stopped dispensing water. We got to figure that out just suddenly. So, yay. Anyway, walking over to get some water. And I thought, man, my kids will bring some weird stuff in the house, right? They go outside. They're bringing sticks, rocks, flowers, weeds, whatever. So I looked over and I'm like, that's a weird shaped rock on the counter, right? I don't know if you heard the story yesterday, but I looked over and I'm like, that's weird. I'm like, how's it even I don't understand how it's not falling off. It's like, it's weirdly balanced. I'm like, whatever, I'll deal with that when I get back. So I got the water. I walk back over and I'm looking at this rock and I'm turning the corner and the rock turns its head and looks at me. I was like, oh, that's a frog. So our screen door has a little rip on the bottom left corner. And I keep telling the kids to watch out because an animal's going to come in here one day. So we just had a frog chilling on the counter, just watching TV with us. It was just literally facing the TV and I had to, help him back outside. But because we couldn't have an unsolicited frog just rolling around the house somewhere, right? That's not safe for him. So I got him back outside. All was good. But I thought that was, I was like, the first thing I thought, I was like, man, Ryan's son would have loved this. It was great, man.
Brings in frogs all the time. So
yeah, it was awesome. I do want to say before we get out of here as well, first of all, enjoy the Cavs Raptors in just a few minutes. That'll come on ESPN. But this is the last iteration, as you guys know it, of the Sunday morning sports show. So we're not going anywhere. We'll still be here on the Inside Edge Network. We all still have major roles on the Inside Edge Network. I just think we're going to take a break on the weekend stuff for a little while. We'll be back with the Browns preview show in the fall, and that'll be 21, 22 weeks of NFL football. Well, 23 weeks, I guess, or more. But I've had just an amazing time doing this show with you guys. I love talking sports with you guys. I am already looking forward, and I'm not a guy who wants to look past baseball, but I'm already looking forward to week 1 of the NFL season. Maybe we'll start doing some stuff in the preseason. We'll see how it shakes out. So we will be back with you eventually. I want you guys to know that. Yep. But the Sunday morning sports show, this is it, man. This is a little bittersweet, right? A little bittersweet, but I have loved doing this show with you guys. I just want to tell you both that. This has been a lot of fun. It's been a really crazy run. I mean, this is pretty much how the network started, right? Yeah. So it's pretty cool. But we will, like I said, we'll be back in the fall with the Browns. Same time, Sunday mornings at 11 we'll start. So we'll just be gone for a few weeks, and then we'll be right back with you, late August, early September. So, guys, thank you so much. I mean, you tune in every Sunday. We've got 161 people in here right now. Listen to me talk about frogs, and TK talk about dogs and whatever. Ooh, that rhymed. That was fun. But yeah, Ryan, I couldn't figure out a rhyme for you. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
That's fine. I'm not much of a ghostwriter, but that's okay. Again, we appreciate every single one of you, and again, remember, we're building this all from the ground up, right? We're trying to bring you as good a content as we can, as professional looking and as accurate as we can. So please, if you appreciate what we've been doing, just head to our socials and follow us. Click the like button, click subscribe on YouTube, on X, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. Make us one of your top 5 friends on MySpace if you're old enough to remember that. That's not a thing anymore. You can add us on AOL Instant Messenger. We can be friends. You can hear the doors closing and opening. You guys don't even know what that is. That's crazy. All right, I'm done saying old guy stuff, but we appreciate every single one of you, and please just help us bring you better content. Like I said, if you can go like and subscribe on all of our social media, we would really, really, truly appreciate it. We already appreciate you. The fact that you tune in every day of the week. We're on every single day of the week on the Inside Edge Network, and you guys are here, and the views are astounding. Like Ryan said, just the fact that we had, over 850, we ended up with 915 people is where we peaked on Thursday night. So amazing that you guys just keep showing up. We appreciate it. We love you so much. We couldn't do it without you. And remember, we will be back in the fall with the Sunday morning sports show, the Browns preview, whatever. We'll figure out what to call it. We've got weeks to figure it out. We'll text and figure it out by then.
I'm gonna miss you guys.
We will be back.
Weird.
It is.
I feel like I'm not gonna talk to you for months now.
Yeah, I'm deleting your numbers right now. No, we're not doing that. But no, we appreciate every single one of you that watches us and every show on the Inside Edge Network. We all strive to bring you the best content that we can. So please, if you could help us out by following us, by liking, by subscribing. I know it gets annoying to ask over and over, but we really appreciate it. So please, just do what you can to help us out, and we'll do what we can to keep bringing you better content. That's all I got. All right, guys. That's it. We're signing off for the last time until football season. So, hey, enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy Cavs Raptors. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.